How's the lighting? Oh, microphone. Hang on a minute. No mic. One sec, BlaXit family. Hello, BlaXit family. Ooh, can you see me? Can you hear me? My apologies, my sincere apologies for my absence last week. I wasn't actually feeling well, and so I wasn't able to do the live. I physically wasn't able to do the live, so I do apologize. I did actually put up a notification. If you can see and hear me, let me know, please. If you can see and hear me, let me know, please. Kath, could you pop a notification for me just to say we're live to the community, please? I hope someone here can welcome to live chat. Okay, if you can see and hear me, please let me know. That would be great. I'm just trying to position this. Okay. So if you can see and hear me, let me know, please. Oh, let me just put my phone on Don't Disturb as well. 1 second. Oh, let me just put my phone. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Okay, so welcome to BlaXit. Thank you for joining BlaXit. If you're new to BlaXit, I'm Nyancho Kajabi. I am the CEO and founder of BlaXit. Welcome to BlaXit. Welcome. BlaXit is based in Africa. This is where I live. BlaXit is all about your repatriation, your relocation from the West back to the best, and that's Africa. And I'm broadcasting here live and direct from a beautiful, beautiful Gambia, the smiling coast of Gambia in West Africa, which is where I live permanently. You can probably detect from my accent that I wasn't born here. I was actually born in England, but I chose to leave England and come back to Africa to live permanently. So BlaXit is all about facilitating your relocation and your repatriation back to Africa, just as we have. The first time I visited Africa was over 32 years ago now, and I have been preaching and singing and sharing about Africa ever since. So I love Africa. Africa is an amazing place to live. And so BlaXit has really been about sharing about that experience and sharing about opportunities, also about sharing about you with other diasporans, other African descendants which have chosen to make Africa their home. So welcome. Let yourself be known to me so I can shout you up. Jolly, how are you? How are you, Jolly? How's your day? And where are you texting me from? And hi to you. Greetings to BlaXit. I would like to thank our moderator. Our moderator this week is Kafre. So welcome. And thank you for joining today's live. What is Sunday Lives about? Sundays Lives are generally a platform where people have sent me questions about repatriation, and I generally answer them. It's also a platform for sharing information and knowledge. It's also for you having the opportunity to write in the chat anything that you know is also on your mind regarding repatriation or regarding Pan-Africanism. We do talk about Pan-Africanism, we do talk about what's going on in the continent, and also what's going on right here in the country that I live in Gambia. But we also talk about things that are happening in Burkina Faso. And of course, we are totally against colonization, and we want you to return back to your nation. So that's what it's about. And so Jose in the Gambia, greetings to you. Thank you so much for joining us on today's live. Now, I just want to talk about something that's really, really important. Now, recently, Africa has been trending. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that Africa has been trending across social media? Have you noticed? Matthew, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. How are you? We're just starting to get warm in the live. Now, if you're new to BlaXit, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. If you're not new, I want to thank you for being a part of the BlaXit family. Thank you for watching and joining us frequently. Thank you so much for watching our content. I appreciate you so much. BlaXit has the largest kabilo for resettlement here. Kabilo means area, basically, with over 500 plots, which is in Bussorah in the Gambia. So we've been doing this for quite some time now, and we've had a lot of success, and we've enabled a lot of people to come and to relocate, to set up their businesses, to set up their lives, and to live a nicer, more peaceful, more enjoyable life. And I think that's what Africa should be about. It should be about you coming to find your peace. Peace to me is important, and of course so is happiness. And by coming to Africa, I found my peace and I found my happiness. It's so important. So I want to talk about I Show Speed vlogging in Africa, and I also want to talk about some of the responses to his vlog, his social media streams. I said vlog, I'm showing my age. Okay, showing his streams across Africa. So if you've been watching I Show Speed, I did put a post out on the community page about both him and Woda Maya being responsible for sharing a narrative about Gambia, about Africa, the continent of Africa has 54 different countries. And of course, I was one of the people that was interviewed by Woda Maya, and that helped the trajectory of BlaXit, was in an interview in which I said that England was a dump. So I'd like to say hello also to Matthew. Oh, you've subscribed. Thank you so much, Matthew. So we've got a new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate you, because you might not know, but because of our kind of content, we have faced some shadow banning, demonetization, and other things. So Doctor, how are you, Doctor 340, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining BlaXit. Thank you all for joining the live stream. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much. No. I am apologizing for not being here last week. Like I said, I wasn't feeling very well. I'm feeling a bit better now, actually. I just picked up a bug. You know me, I love children, always picking up children. And I was kissing up a child who I think was sick, and I didn't realize. But anyway, and I picked up the bug. So that's how you get bugs sometimes, by being over loving. But anyway, it's all good to share the love. And BlaXit, for anyone who has not been on this channel before, just a little bit of housekeeping. This is a high frequency, high vibrational channel. Yeah, we're all about our enablement. We're all about our self-determination. We're about our nation. It's about, our self-determination, our progress, our development, and our projection into the future. And of course, Africa being the destination of choice. Okay, the destination of choice. Now, let me just say this. I Show Speed and Woda Maya, among many other vloggers, okay, and many other influencers on social media and streamers, etc., have really started to show the side of Africa that the Western media did not want you to see, because they have been lying to you. Okay, when I first came to Africa, that was when I was 22. Okay, that was like 32 years ago, right? I realized that when I first went there, this is not the Africa that they showed me on TV. This is not the Africa that, was the projection that I was showed. I realized that there was a disinformation campaign. And after I Speed, you're going to see another one. You're going to see another one, because now you're seeing that they're now recruiting lots of different vloggers to come across to Africa to go and show the same narrative of poverty and aid, and we must help these poor Africans. Okay, you're going to see this. So I'm just telling you that, with what iShowSpeed is doing, and if you've not seen iShowSpeed, if you've not seen Wodamaya, please go to their channels and watch. Also, Miss Trudy, so many other female vloggers as well, and many that I've even met as well. And they're all doing great works. Okay, so what I was saying is that he has been traveling from country to country. He started in, I think it was South Africa. I think, was it Angola? I can't remember because I haven't been able to watch them all, I confess. Okay. Hello, beautiful. Who said that? Is that Boomer 187? Hello, 187. I just strolled here. Happy Sunday. Oh, happy Sunday to you too. And thank you so much for strolling here. I so appreciate that. Doctor says I'm going to do that BlaXit. Yeah, you're coming to Africa. Good. Because, they've been deceiving us for so many years. I mean, I have been preaching, I have been sharing, I have been talking, I have done my very best to say, look, the Africa that they're showing you is not the Africa that I'm living in. Okay, it's not the Africa. I live in a lovely home, okay, and I have a lovely life, which I really, really enjoy. And it's much less stressful than living in the West, and living amongst your own people allows you to have an identity that you can feel comfortable with. And I can't express that to you enough. And the love, oh my gosh, the love is just so intense. I really have said this before, that I really didn't understand the concept of community until I came to Africa. I did not understand the concept of community love, community care, compassion, empathy. And I put a post out this week also about Sheikh Anta Diop when he talked about cultural invariance. And he talks about the two cradle philosophy that he has, showing the different hemispheres. And he said the southern hemisphere, which is Africa, is like full of collective cooperation. It's full of compassion, empathy, love, caring, warmth, community, culture, enjoyment. And then he talked about the northern hemisphere, which is Europe, Eurasia, and he spoke about how the harsh weather conditions made them individualistic, also made them harsh, aggressive, combative. And from my experience of living in both locations, I was born in England. I was born actually in East London. And then I came to Africa, like I told you, for the first time at the age of 22. And I just saw a completely different life, a completely different way of living. And this kind of way of living, I think it helps your mental health so much. I think your mental health, I think that you wear way too many hats in the West. You wear one hat to work, you wear one hat at home. You get like multiple personality disorder. I think you also get bipolar disorder, because also you have to be kind of cold and detached, whereas you don't have to be that here. And that's really, really important. So let me say hello also to, is that Isa? How Isa? How are you? Yeah. So like I was saying, so we are all Africans, okay? So if you're a black man, black woman, black child, right, or melanated, all right, and I say highly melanated, let's put it that way, because Neanderthals still have melanin, just to a lesser degree. So, you're seen as an African, and I think that's so important that we start to embrace that. Now, I was talking about the vlogger, iShowSpeed, going from country to country. Most of you are aware of Wodamaya, because of course I'm one of the people that Wodamaya promoted and rebranded my channel to allow you to see me here today, because I was just doing my own little thing, but it wasn't high profile until really I had met him. I was known in the media and so on in the UK because I was always fighting against racism and discrimination. So I was known to the media in the UK, but not so much here in the Gambia. But here in the Gambia, I'm a little bit no more, and obviously the online community a little bit more now. But like in the UK, I had sort of been on like Sky News, BBC News, Channel 4 News, and I had also been on mainstream, in the mainstream TV. I'd also worked in production as well, radio production and also TV production. So I was known a little bit more there than I was sort of like on social media. But you know, thankfully for Wodamaya, thankfully for all of the people that have allowed me to go onto their channels and also interviewed me on in the mainstream news as well. I give thanks to GMT, to Gambia TV, GMTV, and also to QTV, and to all of the channels, Paradise TV, that have all given me exposure and interviews here in the Gambia. So anyway, so I Show Speed, let's talk about your comments now. Doc, she said, yes, I Show Speed has been in South Africa and Ethiopia and many other countries. Yeah, he was also been in Egypt. And I saw some misinformation actually on the one in Egypt. Now, I want to say that if you give, you know, other people your history, they're going to they're going to give out the information that they want to give you, which could be misinformation. That's why it's important that we refer back to our own anthropologists, our own historians, and our own experts in the field of Egyptology. I think that's quite important that we're able to do that. But it has been amazing that he's showcasing Africa, because I'm just going to talk about some of the reactions that I've seen. And I have been shocked. There was like one that says, oh my God, they've got cars in Africa? Oh my God, they've got water in Africa? Oh my gosh, they've got internet in Africa? Oh my gosh, look at Africa, it's so advanced. Oh my gosh, look at Africa, it's so developed. Oh my, all right. And then some have been like American, like, I never knew that, you know, we've been fooled. I saw, you know, one man, he was absolutely crying and said, you know, I never knew Africa was like that. They kept us thinking that America was the paradise, but America's not the paradise. Now, you know, in celebration of Martin Luther King Day, he did tell you that there was the promised land, and Africa is the promised land. Okay, I Show Speed has been showing the culture. I Show Speed has also been showing the development, but I Show Speed's also been showing the fun. He's also been showing the community, and he's also been showing the love. Now, I wasn't a huge I Show Speed fan, as you know, I have spoken about him before on this channel, but it was on his trip to Thailand, and it was about the transgender person. And so I put my hands up to not really following him until he hit Africa. That's when I really started to get riveted by the African content, and I'm so happy that he is doing that. And if you remember rightly, when I did my predictions in the last show of 2025, I did actually say that there would be an awakening, and there would be far more exposure and social media exposure, and far more people embracing Africa and coming to Africa than before. So there you have it. That's one prediction that has come to pass, one prediction that has come true. Okay, but I want to talk about the backlash. Okay, I want to talk about the backlash also to excuse me, sorry. I want to talk about the backlash to let me say happy birthday to Modu Lamin, who's sitting here. Happy birthday, Modu Lamin. They're giggling. They're going out to celebrate the birthday of Modu Lamin today. So yeah, I'm not going to be very, very long, because it's his birthday celebration day, and that is one of Catherine's friends. So I don't want to hold up their celebration for too much longer. So tell me, what did you think about the content of I Show Speed? Tell me, what do you think about it? Now, I've seen some negative content and comments, and I've seen some positive comments. And for me, I'm not really going into the negativity. I'm not interested. I've seen the fact that other vloggers, I think it's Beast or something, some white dude, has said how he's going to Ghana now to build a hospital and to help the poor. So, you know, out, and he's bringing 20 other vloggers or something, influencers, to go out there in some big projects. Now, what I want to know, I commend anything that is beneficial to Africa. Now, I do not want Africa to be seen as a pity party. This is not what iShowSpeed has done. He has not shown Africa as a pity party. He's also shown the developments that are happening, and the beautiful cities that exist, whether it was Nairobi, he went to Kenya. I did see, I love the love in Kenya. I did see Kenya, and that touched me. That touched me, I've got to admit. Sorry, are you... Okay, sorry, I didn't understand that comment. So anyway, so Kenya, that was beautiful. The love that he got shown there. Also, I saw Botswana. Did you see Botswana? Okay, and also I think I saw when he went to the pyramids. He went inside the pyramids in Egypt, and I think I saw a touch of Angola and a touch of Ethiopia, and I think where else have I missed? So yeah, I'm behind, but I think at the moment he's in Senegal, which is just down the road to Gambia. So I don't know if he's coming to Gambia. I actually don't know where his next destination is. I think from Senegal he might be going to Ghana, maybe Mali. I don't know where he's going. I don't know what his schedule is, but I will say that I am very happy that he is changing the narrative and being one of the biggest streamers. He has over 48 million, I think 49 million now. I think he's got over 49 million subscribers on his channel. Can you imagine this young man, okay, from, where does he come from? He said Portugal in, is it Ohio or something like that? I can't remember. He does say where he's from, Portugal in somewhere like Ohio or whatever. So this young black man has a young man who is of African descent, who's born in America, has had so much impact in changing the narrative of Africa. So I do want to thank him for doing that. But now we're going to have the army of European vloggers who are going to come out and try and show you the worst of the worst of the worst. Okay, so just get ready for the backlash. Anytime that there is a black man, right, of any caliber, melanated, whatever you want to call him, right, who's going out there and showing a positive side of Africa, there's always going to be a backlash. Sorry, Doctor, what is this? Let me read your comments. Yeah, hi from Croatia in Europe, and that's Gord. Yeah, hello, Gordon. Yeah, and welcome. Okay, I've been to Albania, but I've not been to Croatia. Doc, there's one thing that got my attention, and it was the fact that most of the statues in Egypt had lost their lost. What does it say? Then iShowSpeed was wondering about that. Is he saying has lost their nose? I think he was talking about the fact that most of the statues had lost their nose. Now, they put that down to weathering. I was like, what? We all know. Yeah, I've actually been to Egypt. So I think that I went to Egypt in 2010. Yeah, I think I went to Egypt in 2010. Yes, 2010. I went to Egypt in 2010. So that was about how many years ago now? Woo! 2026. So 16 years ago. Anyway, so much before iShowSpeed. And I've got to confess that when I went there, I was actually told something completely different. I was told that the Europeans, the Romans, and remember the Hyksos, yeah, they didn't want people to know that, in fact, these pharaohs, these gods, these deities, these queens, these goddesses, and all of the Sphinx, all of these important and iconic people were black. They were of African descent. So the one thing that showed that was the mouth and the nose. So they actually, I was told that they chiseled off the nose intentionally so that you wouldn't be able to identify with their ethnicity, okay, and identify with them as being Africans. They were also trying to chisel off the hieroglyphs and the colored hieroglyphs. I went to the tombs of the kings and the queens, where it was very clear from the images that were on the walls that they were obviously black. There was no question. There was no question. You go to Abu Sumel, you go to the Temple of Nut, you go to the Temple of Isis. Clearly, they are all black. There's no question. There's no question of it. So what they're trying to do is to dilute, okay, and to change that perception. But they are Hithkos. They are the invaders to Egypt. That's what they are. They're not the original people. Because when I was in Egypt, I went actually to the island of the Nubians. I went to Nubian island, where I was being taught to speak Nubic, yeah, which is one of the ancient languages. And I also got to meet with my people. I got to see their talismans. I got to see, oh, it was amazing. And no, they were not Arab looking at all. They were Africans, okay? A dark skinned, yeah, woolly haired, you know, beautiful 9 ether hair Africans, okay? They were the original. So I'm not dealing with the fakes, I'm dealing with the originals. And they also confirmed to me that there had been so much... Sorry, could you get me some water, please, hon? Okay. Sorry, I'm still recovering a little bit. There's still been some ethnic cleansing. And, you know, these people, these Nubians, were living in this area because they had been cast out by the Hithkos, by the Arabs. Yeah, they had been cast out. So the reason why they don't know our history is because it's not their history. It's just as simple as that. Okay, thank you, Big Heart. How are you? Thank you for saying you're absolutely gorgeous. And hi from Eswatini. Oh, beautiful Eswatini. Thank you so much. I've loved watching Eswatini when Wodamai went there. Absolutely stunning. And I've got to say, Africa is absolutely stunning. That what you're seeing, the beauty of Africa, it is true. I live in it every day. Honestly, it is absolutely beautiful. Even I went to go and identify and find some land for one of our clients. And I went to a place in Kasakunda that I'd never been to before. And it wasn't even far from the highway, just that I'd never been to that particular place before to identify a piece of land. Then we eventually found, because I was looking for something that wasn't too far from the other places where a lot of our other brothers and sisters have settled here. So, and Kasakunda, if you remember rightly, was one of the places that I had helped people to relocate to. So I had gone there because it's also not too far for any of us in our team to go to support people. So yeah, this is the reason why. So I went there and there was this beautiful piece of land. It's like 80 by 200 by 50. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. It's okay. Thank you so much. I love my borehole water. I'll tell you, it tastes beautiful. And so I was looking at this and all of the palm trees and the natural, and I was just saying, wow, just wow, how amazing, how beautiful, how stunning, naturally stunning this place is. It's just, it never ceases to amaze me. When I went to Sierra Leone, and I remember I went to River Number 2, oh my gosh, the place was so amazing. I went up the peninsula. It was amazing. I went to Guinea-Bissau. It was so beautiful. It was so amazing. I just like, oh, I went to Senegal, it was so beautiful, so amazing. And you know, people think that I'm just talking, but now you've seen other vloggers show it. I am not just saying it. I chose to come to Africa to live because I wanted peace of mind. There's not a price that you can put on peace of mind. There's not a price that you can put on happiness. There's not a price that you can put on harmony, serenity. There's not a price that you can put on feeling like you belong. And I feel like I belong here. And belonging isn't just a passport. Belonging is about the environment that you live in and the people that surround you. And that is so important. So let me read your comments now. Okay, so Marcia Black, how are you, my darling? Are you all right? Welcome to BlaXit. Thank you for joining the live. Marcia said, hi, Nyancho. I also watched the King of Monologue, and he is telling the truth of ancient Kemet history. Absolutely. Absolutely. They are our ancestors. They are our ancestors. I kid you not. They are our ancestors. I cannot say it off, you know, they are our ancestors. Okay? Isis, ancestor. Osset, ancestor. Yes, Sekhmet, ancestor. All of them. Osiris, ancestor. Ra, ancestor. Okay? This is our divine lineage. It really is our divine lineage. Ramesses, ancestor. Okay? Chekhetsut, yeah? Ancestor. All of the wonderful and amazing queens, Nefertiti, ancestor. Ancestor. These are our ancestors. And don't let any Arabs, any Europeans, any Hithkos, right? Any foreigners come and tell you otherwise. We are Africans. We are the true Africans. Okay? Right. Just saying. So, hi, you're watching from New York City. New York, New York. Not a place I really liked. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, should I? But it's true though. I didn't really like it when I went to New York. Okay, originally from the island of Montserrat. Okay, so you know that Caffrey is half Montserratian, okay, from Lise. Okay, in the Caribbean, and I'm enjoying the positive vibes. Welcome from Montserrat. Welcome to Montserrat. In fact, my mom actually went out and she was teaching in Montserrat for 6 months, and she loved Montserrat, by the way. So welcome, and you are welcome from Montserrat. Yeah, as you know, my ex-husband was from Montserrat. So welcome. So Marcia Black said, true statues have been in the British Museum. Yeah, I saw that, and the Rosetta Stone, when the photo was taken, and it's still there. Precisely. And I've seen them, to be fair, I've seen them. So I'm not even asking. I've been and I've seen, you know, and you can go to Luxor, you can do all of this yourself. You can travel there. Africa is your home. Africa is a mansion with many rooms. Choose one. I've been saying this for years. Okay, I've not been saying it for months. I've been saying this for so many years. You know, Tunisia, also your home. When you go and you see the Bedouins look like us. The Bedouins look like us. I was like totally transfixed with the Bedouins that lived inside the Sahara Desert. And I was just like, you know, there was like all of these white tourists, and then there was like a small group of black people, and like I was among them. And, you know, they singled me out as usual. In fact, I got singled out in Egypt. I will tell you that story of what happened to me, right? So, and so they singled us out and took us into the home, and just the black ones, because they said, you are us. and they took us down into their homes and everything, and gave us food and drink. The hospital, I've got to say, the hospitality, the love, the caring, the sharing. I can talk to you, about the different places that I've been in Africa where I've had such wonderful experiences, really lovely, warm experiences, and that was one. And when I went to Egypt, I had the oddest experience, okay? When I went there, I was taken out of the group. You have these tour groups, and there's this woman talking rubbish, so I was correcting her all the time, and I was, telling her the truth, because I had studied Egyptology many years ago. Anyway, before traveling to Egypt, so when she was talking about, I said, actually, hello, no, that's not true, Plus, I had studied a lot of Sheikh Anta Diop's work as well, from Black civilizations, the origin of Black civilizations. Anyway, so when I was there, they took me out and they took me to check Hitsup's temple where no one else was allowed in. They took me. And they took me to a piece of wall, okay, with an inscription on it, okay, and pictures and hieroglyphs and cartouches. I still even have my gold cartouche. In fact, I might show it to you for next week's show. But anyway, I have a solid gold cartouche, which I got with my name encrypted in it. They said it's important for me to know who I am. But anyway, so I was taken to this wall, and I had to kiss this wall. I know, why would you kiss the wall, Julia? Okay, Nancho, you're crazy. No, I did it. I had to kiss this wall. I had to rub this area on the wall. I had to bend down. I had to, and at this time, I was pregnant with Caffrey, okay? I had to go into this room. I had to hold this text and repeat after them on this text. I then had to come out. I then had to go back down, right? I had to walk backwards around this building 3 times. And then they took me to another building. It was a temple, another temple. They said to me, you don't know who you are. You said you will remember who you are. And you know what the weirdest thing is? I had a really weird dream many years ago, and I woke up, and it was like I woke up in a tomb, like an Egyptian tomb. Yes. Anyway, so whilst this was happening, then they took me to another temple, and they had this key. It was huge. It was shaped as an ankh. I don't know if you know the size of an ankh, okay, like this. And it was huge, and it was really heavy. And so I had to turn around how many times, and then I had to walk forward. No one else had to do this, only me, yeah? And at this time, my ex-husband, right, had abandoned me. We wasn't married at that time, right? But he had abandoned me and left me with these people, and I didn't care. I was, fulfilling my duty. I was fulfilling my duty. And so I had this massive key, and then I had to take this massive key into this temple. No other tourists were there, just me. I'm going to tell you, because something like this happened to me in Mexico as well, right? So I took this huge key, and I put it in the door, and then I had to turn this key, but I couldn't turn it. It was so hard. And they told me that I have to turn it because it's turning destiny. That I'm turning the key of destiny. Anyway, I didn't give up. It was really hard. It was really hard. It was really heavy. It was really massive. But in the end, I didn't give up. I tell you, sweat was pouring off me. I was soaking wet. And in the end, I gave one hard, and then I turned the key, and the door opened. Sorry, I do get excited. So the door opened, this heavy, massive wooden door, right, inside this temple, right? And inside this temple, there were it looked like a boat. It's the only way I can describe it. Shaped like a banana, kind of. And there was some other things that I couldn't see properly because I wasn't allowed to go fully inside. I had to step in the doorway backwards. I had to walk backwards. I was like, all right, okay. I was game for everything. I thought, you know what? If this is for the ancestors, if this is, for me knowing who I am, for me identifying as who I am, blah, blah, blah. And then they gave me a name, right? And I can't remember the name, but I did remember like a part of one of the names. And that is how Kafre got his name. Okay, that is how Kafre got his name, because it was Kafre or something like that, and Kofu and Kafra and something like this, and a woman's name. But you know what? Like, I should have written it down at the time, but I think I was so overwhelmed. So I eventually opened the door, had to walk backwards, yeah. So I kind of looked over my shoulder. That's how I kind of saw the boat thing. And then I had to step back out backwards, and then I had to walk around this building. Okay, how many times? And then I did that, and then they took me to this sacred place where I had to sit down and I had to repeat what the man was saying. When he was over, he told me it was an ancient ritual and that they had been waiting for me. Listen, it freaked me out. I'm not going to lie to you. Anyway, the weirdest thing, I took some photographs, and in the photographs, there was all of these orbs. I thought that the pictures, there was something wrong with the pictures. But then a friend said to me, no, there's nothing wrong with the pictures. Look at these ones. These ones are fine. It's just these ones. These are orbs. These are your ancestors around you. And so they are our ancestors. So don't get it twisted. They recognized me when I went there. Okay, the Nubians recognized me. When I went to Nubian village, same thing. They were teaching me Nuwabi, telling me, you don't know who you are. I says, no. Yeah, I'm just Juliet at the time, and so we are our ancestors. Okay, we have that same blood, that same DNA. So don't ever let anyone take your divinity away from you. I knew from that time, especially when I went to Abu Somel. When I went to Abu Somel and I saw how huge the statues were, I knew that. Listen, our ancestors, they were more than human. Okay, they were more than human. They have abilities. And, just the same way as that we would look at things now. If someone was looking at us using the phone now, like you go back as a time traveler, maybe 60, 70 years ago, they would be thinking, wow, look at these contraptions that we're on, that we're doing. Look at these devices. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, so, our ancestors were totally amazing. When I went to... oh my gosh, where was the place called beginning with K? Oh, it'll come back to me. I went to one temple, and it was like the second floor was so high. You had to wonder, how tall were these beings? Why is the second floor so high? I'm talking about probably like, 50 meters. Yeah, I'm talking crazy. Like, you got to go to Egypt. You've got to travel to Africa. You've got to see Africa. If there's one thing that I do not regret, is going to Africa. I also do not regret going to Morocco. I also, had a really interesting experience there. And, our footprints are everywhere. When I went to Turkey and I went to Fethiye, and I saw the palace that is like carved into the rock, and they were saying that these were done by our ancestors. So our ancestors is there. When I went to Sardinia and I went to Alghero, and I saw, the four heads of the four Africans on the Sardinian flag, and they were talking about the history of our ancestors and what they did there. We have, when I went to Greece and I went to Athens and I went to the museum there, and I saw all of our artifacts in their museums. This is what I'm saying. We have, our footprint all over the world. And the African footprint is us. Don't let any Arabs, any Europeans, everybody else tell you any way different. Okay? Don't let anyone tell you any way different. Okay? And yeah, they demolished the noses. It was nothing to do with weathering, because weathering would start at the head first. We're not stupid. Okay? We're not stupid. Weathering would start at the head first. So why isn't the head of the Sphinx disappeared then? Anyway, I've got no time for people talking rubbish. Okay, let me have a look. So thank you, Esther. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to say that I hope that ISO Speed has whetted your appetite for Africa. As you know, we help you to find your land here. We do repatriation land. Repatriation land is at a fraction of the cost. We still have plots here for under $1,000. You understand? So we do help you. We do help you to find, to relocate. Land in Gambia is still land in perpetuity. So if you're interested, do get in contact with me. Plus 220-240-5273. That's plus 220-240-5273. Okay? Martin Luther King Day it was. He said, yeah, that his last speech before they killed him, they assassinated him. Yeah, his last speech was on the 3rd of April, okay, at the Masons Lodge. And he was talking about the promised land, and he was saying that he's gone over the mountaintop, yeah, and he has seen the promised land. Caffrey, can you check the fire for me, please? You took it off? Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm cooking dinner today. So, he's when I say fire, I mean cooker. People may be asking, because I know you think I'm in Africa. Hang on. He said that he might not make it, yeah? But I'm telling you, I'm living in the promised land. Let me tell you this. This is the promised land. Okay, this is the promised land. And I know because I've helped people who have repatriated to Tanzania, people who have repatriated to Kenya, people that have repatriated to Ghana, people that have repatriated to Zambia, people that have repatriated to Chad, people have repatriated even to Burkina Faso. Listen, I am telling you, people that have repatriated to Benin, people that have repatriated to Sierra Leone, I will do what I can to help you. Okay? And I have been working tirelessly in my purpose for free. I take my 10%, yeah, yes I do, from you know, the land acquisition. And you know, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help. Why? Because that is the Garveyite dream. That is the Garveyite dream. Okay? When I was in Mexico, I had a similar situation. I went to go and find some old relics to show the African footprint. While I was there at the Temple of the Sun and the Moon. Like I said to you before, I've been to about 31 countries so far. Some I've been to repetitively, like for example, Jamaica, America, France. I was working in France for a bit, Holland. Germany, been to them multiple times. But I would like to say that traveling is so important, and for us to go and experience different places. But most importantly, I think that we must experience Africa. We must experience the place of our ancestors. I think that is so important. Like I said, Gambia is the place of my choice for my home for a number of reasons. Firstly, Gambia is very, very welcoming, and a lot of the people here speak English. For someone like me, that is my linguistics are not so good, So learning a new language for me, and going maybe to Senegal where I would have to learn French and then have to learn Wolof and Mandinka and so on. So Gambia was my choice for that reason as well, but also because of the culture. The culture is very close to Caribbean culture. The culture is very easy to, I would say, assimilate into. And the people here, you know, are very warm. They're very loving, and that is really important. And I think that ISO Speed showed the love of Africa, because when I talk about the love, right, and people are thinking, oh, what's Juliet talking about? What's Nyancho talking about? Nyancho is talking about the real love. That's how I even got named Nyancho. That's how I even got named Nyancho Kajabi. I even got adopted by a Gambian family, the Kajabi family here. So it's like, oh, how do I describe it? Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just reading your comments. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. He said, me quoting Dr. King hit different. Okay. He said, Doc says you're doing an amazing job helping people to get in touch with the motherland. That's wonderful. Thank you. And Marcia Black says she's coming home. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry. Honestly, honestly. I also had some really good news. Also, about a few people. I'll probably talk about that next week. And I also had just a few questions which I do want to answer before I hit the hour. I didn't even realise that I've been talking so much. But Africa's wonderful. Africa's wonderful. I've been living here next month. The 4th of February will make 7 years. Believe it or not, I've not been back to England. No, not once. I've only travelled around the African continent. I don't feel really that there's much to go back for, except for my family. I love, 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 love my family, and that would be the only reason for me to go back. But to be honest with you, that's at a stretch. I really don't want to go back to the UK unless I am forced to, literally. And so I have loved living here for nearly 7 years. It'll be 7 years next month. And I have had experiences and things, and I've had some wonderful experiences. Let me put it that way. Some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experiences. I've had some life-changing experiences. I've had some heartbreaking experiences. As you know, I'm divorced now. That was one of the heartbreaking experiences that I experienced. I actually got divorced here in Africa, here in the Gambia. And that was a heartbreaking experience. I was told that he wanted a divorce and separation, so I honoured that request, and so yeah, that was heartbreaking. I have had some wonderful, really fun and enjoyable experiences. I've also had some really good, loving and exciting experiences. I've also, had it's been like a movie, where I've had betrayal, abandonment, I've had it all in a mixed bag, but it has been a wonderful experience. It's been such a learning curve for me. And one of the things that I have loved the most is getting to understand more about me, understand more about our culture, and be proud of who I am as an African woman. I think that has really changed my perspective, changed my perception of myself, and made me proud to be African. When I used to wear my African clothes in England, they used to ask me if I was wearing fancy dress. They would try and belittle you. They would try and destroy your self-esteem. And so being here has really revolutionized my confidence. And has given me a level of confidence and self-esteem as a divine feminine. And I recognize myself as a divine feminine here in Africa. And that is so important that we can do that. It allows you to go back to being wholesome. Because, living in the West, there's always, alcohol, there's temptation, there's all of the things that are bad. You're surrounded by, these deviant lifestyles, all of their kind of perceptions are being pushed on you. Being in their cold, harsh environment is about individualism. It's not about collectivism. So being here in the sun, being able to, go on the beach, enjoy yourself. That's probably what we're going to do now, is we're going to go and chill on the beach and go and enjoy ourselves. They have Sunday family day on the beach, which is lovely. It's a more family orientated environment as well. So That's wonderful. I did put a little snippet on of the concert, yeah, from last night, just a small snippet. So obviously, I don't want to get flagged or anything. So just showing you the enjoyment that happens here, on Saturday nights and so on. I want to get in the vibe of what's going on here in Africa. I'm also going to show you our latest showcase development that I'm so excited to show you. I'm hoping that the editing will be finished this week, and I'll be able to put that up. Let's just have a look at your messages for a moment. Unity is strength. You should come to the Wakate Festival in Kumasi. You can really experience authentic Ashanti Akan culture. Well, why not? Why not? Why not? I've got plans. Yeah, I've got plans. Okay. Regina said, I'm a single woman and I'm 60 years plus and would love to come home to the motherland, but I'm concerned living there by myself. I had to make a change. It would definitely be the Gambia, absolutely. But you wouldn't be by yourself, by the way. I mean, I don't consider myself, okay, so, I'm a single parent now, okay? But I don't consider myself, being by myself, because here everybody, you're surrounded by people, you're surrounded by community, so you're not really on your own. I found it much more lonely in England, far more lonely in England, because loneliness isn't about just being surrounded by people. It's about being in an environment where you feel welcome, where you feel home. I can sit on the beach and then I'm surrounded by people. And we're all sitting down. We decided to go and get a captain fish or a lady fish and roast it on the beach and get food, and everybody's going to eat. We're all going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to stay out there, and sometimes we light the fire on the beach until like midnight come, and we're still on the beach adding, wood to the fire. So it's a different experience. Sometimes we pull out the drums, and it, bang some like a bingy beats and, enjoy ourselves, or sometimes put out a Bluetooth speaker and listen to some Afro beats and dance on the beach. It's just a different experience. It's just a different reality. It's just a different reality. And you wouldn't be alone. I'm here, that's for sure. So you wouldn't be alone, okay? Here you aren't alone. You aren't. I've never felt alone. I've always felt supported here, and I think that's one of the most important things about being here is feeling supported. And my lifestyle is different. My lifestyle is entirely different. I think in the UK you work so hard. I work so hard. I'm just going to, in fact, one of the questions actually that I was asked covers this. So let me just explain. They were asking me about the comparison of the lifestyle. So let me just give it a small snippet. This is one of the questions that I was actually asked. So let me answer it. So one of the things is the lifestyle. So let me give you a snippet of the UK lifestyle. I'm not even going to go into finances and debt and work and this and that, but I'm just going to give you a snippet. In the UK, okay, in the UK, just from the beginning of your routine of getting up in the morning, I got up in the morning, I'd make, my bed like just everybody does. Go have my shower. I'm rushing to go to work because I'm on a deadline. My alarm has gone off. Go and have my shower, brush my teeth, do my hair, get my clothes ready. If they're already ironed, take them out of the wardrobe. If not, I have to go and, take them out to dry, iron them, get them done. Go downstairs, quickly go and rustle up breakfast for everybody. Put breakfast on the table, make sure everyone's, is down and ready. Make sure all the children's school uniforms are done, etc., etc. Make sure all the packed lunches are done, because I didn't like them eating additives, too many additives in the food. Make sure all the packed lunches are done. After the packed lunches are done, rush everybody into the car, then rush off to school. It was pressurized. That's just the morning routine. Here, the morning routine is far different, far different. I wake up in the morning, okay? I decide on when I'm going to brush my teeth, when I'm going to have my shower. If I want to have a shower and go for a swim first, I can then go into my swimming pool. I can go for a swim, okay? So far as my son is concerned, I don't have to stress because he has a driver, so I don't have to worry about me having to rush to take him to school. He has his own driver, okay? Breakfast in the morning is prepared. We have a lovely lady who assists us in the house, and she prepares breakfast, she prepares lunch, and she prepares dinner. I don't have the stress. I don't have the stress of having to do that. She also does the shopping, and she also cleans the house. She also makes the beds. She also irons his uniform and also my clothes. I don't have the stress, and I would rather pay and create employment and help someone, right, to have a better life, because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. You're helping someone to have a better life. Also, that's why I said you're not alone, right? And then sometimes the person comes to do the garden. Do you know what I mean? And so on and so forth. I'm just saying, this is just one small snippet of my life. Before, I'll be like trying to season up the meat, put it in the fridge, and prepare the vegetables for, so when I get home it's done. So if I have to go shopping, I go shopping at the night. It is so stressful. Do you know what I mean? Put the clothes in the washing machine, make sure I put it on before I go, take the clothes out the dryer. When I come home, make sure I'm ironing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just far different. It's far different. And when people see me, they say, Julia, you look younger than you did when you was in the UK. What is going on? Are you aging backwards? Like, oh my gosh, you're like 54 now. Like, but you don't look 54. Like, what's happened? What is it? And it's Africa. Yeah? I'll have fresh juice. I'll have fresh fruit in the morning, fresh off the tree, fresh pawpaw off the tree, fresh oranges, fresh grapefruit, fresh bananas off the banana tree. You understand? Fresh juices, clean water, spring water. The culture is just, I hear, cockerels. I hear cows and cowbells ding, 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 ding as they're walking along. I hear the bird songs. Listen, let me tell you. If you can even hear cockerel now. Okay? Hang on, let me read your comments. So, yeah, that was one of the answers. That's the difference between my lifestyle here and my lifestyle there. And is it affordable? Yes, it is. That's the thing. It is really affordable. If I was living in England, to have that kind of support would be so expensive. But here it is affordable. Okay, let me read your comments. It says, the culture is amazing. I attended my first Zimba gathering and the experience was great. Oh, I'm so happy to hear these messages. I got adopted as well, and I was given a name, Jazara. Oh, beautiful Jazara. Thank you so much. That's so lovely. And it was the Nyasi family. Oh my goodness. And you love it here in the Gambia. Listen, my queen, get in contact, okay? So all I've got to say to everybody is that I just want to say thank you to you, okay, for watching us. I just want to say thank you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Let me answer the last question that was sent in, because I do want to make sure I answer your questions, or else you'll think that why am I sending these questions if she's not answering. You asked me what was one of the difficulties that I faced when I was building my house. One of the most difficulties that I faced when I was building my house was the platter. The platter is what we call the ceiling. And I think I did explain this. Did I ask this question before? Sounds like I feel like I did. But anyway, it was the platters because I allowed a friend who said that, oh, her son does it. Anyway, but her son didn't really couldn't do it. And so that was kind of hard, putting them off the job and putting someone else on the job. And they wasted a lot of my time, to be fair. All they had to do was say they couldn't do the job. But, rather than say they couldn't do it, they said, yes, I can do it. So I'd always tell you to get a professional. That was one of the biggest challenges that I had, was the platters. And that wasted a lot of my time. Also, I did the project management myself. I took over. I was letting someone else do it, but then I took over. I also took on a doorman who was a supervisor as well. So he watched everybody when they came to work, when they didn't come to work, when they signed in. Also, because I paid every 3 days, and I think that's really wise. That's also a good solution, paying your workers every 3 days. So you do inspection. So if they don't come to work consistently for 3 days, they don't get paid until the third day of consistent working. Okay. What else did I do? Other tips that I did, do work to a schedule, a very fixed and tight schedule, so you know exactly what phase of the build you're at and what you want to do. Keep a tight hold of your budget, very, very important. Okay, because just like the other day, we had an increase in cement because there was a shortage of cement. Because of a shipment of cement that couldn't come into the Gambia. I think it was jar oil. I think there was a big issue about it. But anyway, so there was a scarcity of cement. So prices went up to as far as 650 dollars for a bag of cement. It's back down again now, I believe. But, when there's shortages, prices go up because there's no fixed price. So that's another thing here. Someone asked me about bartering and how important it is. Bartering is incredibly important. There's something called first price and last price. Let me teach you. This is very, very, very important. Do never accept the first price on the open market when you are buying anything. Do not accept the first price. Keep bartering, keep pushing, keep pushing. I found that a lot of people said, oh, but I was overcharged. Oh, but this taxi driver said, no, well, why did you accept his first price? Never accept the first price. If one person tells you this, you say, okay, I'm going to go over there then. Okay, I'm going to go to this taxi driver. I'm going to ask this price. I'm going to ask that price. I'm going to ask this price. I'm going to ask that price. And that is what you do until you get to the last price, which is the price that you're prepared to pay, that you'll find someone to compromise with you and that you'll pay at that price. So you barter, okay? So here's just like, for example, if you want to ask what is the price of something in Wolof, yeah? Nyetala, okay? You just ask Nyetala. Repeat after me in the comment section. Nyetala, okay? You just ask Nyetala, yeah? So if I want to say, okay, Kai Jaima Pompate, okay? I want to buy 2 kilos of potatoes, yeah? Kai Jaima, so I want you to sell me, that's what it says. This is what it means basically. Yeah, Kai Jaima, na kilo, yeah, Pompate. So you can get around. It's not really that hard, yeah? To say that, right? To say hello in Wolof, yeah? How do you say hello? Nangadef? Yeah? And how do you answer back? Jamarek. Just giving you just a couple words, okay? And if I can learn, and I am the worst at linguistics and languages, okay? And I mean that, I'm not like trying to be derogatory on myself, I'm being honest. It wasn't my strongest area, languages. So this is said, Mr. Regina, you can't have to worry about, because life in Africa is about community. Okay, so Mrs. Regina, you don't have to worry about that, because life in Africa is about community, and you won't be feeling alone, right? Living by yourself, as BlaXit said. Oh yeah, it's very true. Nyatala. Thank you. Right? You won't be living by yourself. Okay. Okay. And I shouldn't leave out Mandinka. Okay. So thank you in Mandinka is a baraka, or a baraka bake. Yeah. Okay. And maybe that's what I'll do. As I'm learning phrases, I'll share. Okay. But I just want to say thank you so much for today's live. I so appreciate you all. I think there was just, I think it was one last question that was asked. I did actually check them before I came on the live. I think the question that I was asked was about being a single parent living in the Gambia. Yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, nothing like England. Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so don't worry if you're a single woman with your children coming here. Yeah, it is easy. It is easy. Okay, or easier. And if you want to, your children can still do online schools. If you don't want to put them online schooling, if you don't want to put them in an international school, okay? Because I was doing online schooling with my son in England, but I did decide to put him into a school here. You know,